yeah, flowing on into the night, man. Out there into the bright moonlight, where everything's just shining real bright here in the middle of the night. And I look up there in the northwestern sky, and I see this great star a glittering and a glowing, and wow, I feel loved. I feel life. I feel peace upon the land. I feel it settling in my heart. I see the stars and everyone just beginning to dance with joy and freedom and stuff like that. Doggone it. It's just a beautiful day to be alive. A beautiful night to be flowing back into your heart, flowing back into yourself, and noticing that everything in your life is directing you that way. Right now, I'm going through some real challenging times. Of course, what else would the old man be doing but being challenged in his life? Because that's what he does continually. Well, I do get my breaks, thank goodness. But if I didn't do this, then other people wouldn't do that, and so on. You know, it has a cumulative effect as it goes through the reality of this love and life, man. So don't ever underestimate your own little part here, man, because it may not be so damn little, and it may not be such a part. You may have the role of the century, man, you know, and not even know it. You know, maybe the 3 words you said to somebody in passing on a bridge made all the difference in the world, you know. I know I've sat down with some of the world's great leaders here in my lifetime and had little chats. And man alive, it's amazing how human, once you get past the shell, these beings are. You know, we think of them as like heartless and just a facade type person, and basically that's what they have to be where they are and do what they do. But you know, the few that I've run across in my time have shown me that real humanity does exist there. You know, and that it's in us too then, right? The hardest and coldest of us can still have a human heart, can still have love, can still be life, right? I would think so. Yeah, so as I flow out into this night, and I spread my wings and I take flight, and I get up there by the moon and I'm smiling real bright, lining up with all you guys just right, and beaming down the radiant love here from 85,000 foot now. Why not? You know, 9,000 foot's just the takeoff point. 85,000's the cruise, man. You know, we get up there, we're so high in the air, we don't have to worry about traffic and noise and pollution and stuff like that. You rise above it all, and you bless everything below you, see? And as you do that, and yeah, this is a mystical journey we're taking, a mystical flight indeed, here into the middle of this enchanted and beautiful night. But boy, as we do so, we start to get it right. Sharing this love, sharing this wealth, sharing this light, this lightheartedness, this reunion inside of divine energies, bringing themselves together for the first time in the memory of this reality, since this thing began, this experience in duality. Oh my goodness. Twisted our reality and then some, man. Oh my goodness. We were down and then we're up and then we're just done, babies, just done here in the sun, because the party is just begun. Yeah, babies, we're starting to have fun. Can you believe it? Amidst all of this chaos and all of this noise, we're starting to rib each other back into being alive again. We're starting to come back to life in ways we never could have before. And people, it's a divine and beautiful thing. No matter the path that leads you to it. It may not always be easy. In fact, it seldom is, yet when you're living in the heart, all of these difficult things become breezy. I mean, they just blow right through you. It's over with in a heartbeat. And everything's undone. And all of this threat you were feeling in your life, and all of this anxiety about, you know, all the conditions under which you're living, etc. just goes right out the window, babies. Because you're sure now. You settle into a real place now. And babies, it'll probably force you in some ways to step up and take a stand. You know? And if you have to do that, babies, try to understand yourself doing it. You know, try to allow yourself to be as gracious as you can be doing it. And in fact, you know, reach inside and look for a little more of that too. Because you certainly don't want to hurt any feelings. You want to bless everything and everyone. You know, when you come back to life, you want to be life, living, glowing, flowing love, you know. I've lived a lot in a contrary way, you know, where I've had to kind of bulldog my way around life a little bit. So I learned how to do it, you know, when you're forced up to it. Well, it seemed that way at the time. I mean, I look at it in a lot more relaxed attitude these days, I tell you. But man, it can be, you know, quite a grueling experience. Oh, babies, it brings forth your ingenuity, your resourcefulness. It brings forth oftentimes compassionate acts on the parts of others that you would never have suspected of being of any help to you whatsoever, and so on and so forth. You know, a commitment to heart. If you just have a light-hearted attitude as you're going through life, no matter the journey that you're on, no matter how it's been portrayed, babies, you feel like you've been, well, for lack of better terminology, just gotten laid all the darn time. I mean, you're smiling and happy. You're fulfilled. You're feeling good about yourself. Things are working right in this life, you know. And when you got that infection, baby, it spreads. You know, when you got that base contentment, when you finally realize this life, for all of its haphazardness and all of its cruelty and pain, is one sweet place to be, and that you learned and growed and become, wow, an amazing spiritual being living inside of a human experience. And now wishing to anchor the entirety of that spirit into this human heart and this earth heart that goes with it. You see, everything, all the realms, the divisions we experience dissolving away. That's how I can safely speak of a dissolving away of government, a decline of anything industrial or agricultural, or you know, in any way related to the past. Period. Whatever we done there, we ain't doing no more. The cars, the trucks, the planes, the boats, the trains, you know, these are relics now, and don't need them. Don't have to carry heavy goods cross country. Goods aren't so heavy. Goods aren't necessary. We live in the divine paradigm where creation provides in that enchanted way that only it can do. You look around you in nature and you see how she provides for the plants and the birds and the bees and the buzzing trees, the animals you see. Everything gets taken care of in nature, and everything's happy because of it. Well, think about your own role in life as something similar to that, as coming into that natural state of being, where you're automatically cared for. There's no real struggle to it, you know. There might be a little bit of scratch and peck or something like that, but baby, there's really no struggle. It's just life living, and there you are given a very privileged way of living, because you exist in the heart. And in that heart is the center of all creation. Creation that comes forward out of the deepest respectful love you could ever conjure up. And you can't even conjure it, it just is. It lives because it's you and it's in you to be that. To remember that state of being so that you graciously step into it. So baby, it's not always an easy path. I'll go on into a story maybe tomorrow or the next day or something and rattle on in a little more detail here. But I'm not, you know, here to mess with anybody's world, just to bring back the love and kindness that I've always felt was natural here, and that I've seen exhibited in my life many times over by many different beings. I mean, I am really pleased with the end result of what I've seen of humanity. I know the bulk of humanity doesn't seem to be in too good a space right now, but babies, it ain't going to take long to finish the job. Once certain energies, there's the only reason we're held up at all because there's just tumblers that haven't fallen into place yet. There's some kind of alignment that's missing. So, till we see what that is and can deal with it directly, well, we just keep on keeping on, babies. Keep glowing and growing in this way. I mean, the territory we've entered now is vast. The expansion of love, the exploration of love, the journey in love, incredible. And I know some of you are coming up with twin flames out there. An amazing experience when you do. But be ready for something really different. It's powerful, babies. It might be bigger than you, but it's not, of course. But these energies can be difficult in this reality. They don't always just blend and harmonize. Since the beginning of time, you've been in a divided way. You've gone this way and she's gone that, or he, or yeah, the vice versa. Gosh, I'm bouncing around here a little bit. And that's the way you've been since the beginning of time. And you've never been drawn together in any real sort of way. You've had connections through the generations, but you've never been drawn together in any real sort of way till the times of now. And babies, your journeys, because you represent the two sides of your existence, have been quite opposite of each other. And so when you try to bring those journeys back together, when you try to see a way to do that, well, the heart will have its way no matter what. You can't get in the way, but I'm telling you, in this earth dynamic, it can be a tricky business, babies. So just stay focused on what's making you happy in this life as you go through any readjustment. Because, that's the other side of it, too. Being with your twin will bring up, just about every wound and injury you ever had, if you haven't resolved with it all. Well, that brings about resolution, so it's not a bad thing. But just be prepared for that. And be prepared for some opposition out of a person who should know better, who should see you in a different light than that, should understand in a deeper way. Be prepared to be misunderstood and not connected with. Perhaps however this is going, it's just not happening because somebody's not ready. We all have our experience and we all have our avenues to pursue and our wisdom to gain and our heart to gain. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's coming back in the heart and bringing everything and everyone with us. And this can sometimes be a ruggedy journey. I know it stretches my heart to the maximum at times and beyond. Yet, in that I find, wow, even though I'm extremely sensitive these days, I find my endurance is incredible. Stuff that would have crushed me and destroyed me, a few years back these days is like water off a duck's back. But it's not quite as easy as that. But I mean, it goes through as quickly as that. It flows through very rapidly. And then I'm through with that. And then I'm through with that. And then I'm through with that. It goes on and on, baby. It's a beautiful ride. To experience yourself in this way is to get to know life in a very real way. And honeys, I'm telling you, you won't be able to view anything, anyone, in the same way as you have before. You become extremely tolerant, but you also step into a place where you won't tolerate a whole lot of bullshit in your life. You live in absolute honesty inside of yourself because of the nature of the heart. Doesn't mean you don't slip up or mistell something or whatever, you know. I mean, everybody has their weaknesses, whatever you want to call them. I don't look at them as weaknesses. They're flaws, maybe. Characteristics more like, you know, some of them can be more flaws than others, but it's just because they don't seem in harmony. As we come to understand them and retrain them, then they become so. Once again, it's all about perception. It's all about seeing who we are. And babies, when I've got that kind of anxiety in my life, you know, I have to look inside and see what I'm doing to cause it. And I know I still have my reformations going on, you know, and this makes me a little tricky to be around at times, you know. I can flash and flare in a heartbeat, but I can get it over it in the next heartbeat too, if things just happen to go bing, you know what I mean? It's an amazing experience, but you know, in the process, I'm getting hold of the most deep and basic passions and learning how to retrain them and redirect them, you know, taking out the programming and let them, you know, get into the flow of the heart, you know, and then as I dissolve the programming, as I rearrange it in this heartfelt way, then the heart's energy becomes much more apparent in the mind and the flow gets easier and simpler. Doesn't mean, you know, I always understand, but it does mean usually I do. And usually the moves I make are appropriate. At least they seem so in the moment of time in which I make them. You know, and if, you know, God forgive me, I should, you know, make a mistake in that area, well, gee whiz. You know, we all learn and grow. You know, and I never claimed to be Mr. Perfect. I sure want to live in perfection, though, babies. I see that we do already. Because I can accept that side of myself. I'm all right with that, you see. I don't need to change or transform anything. It's doing it by itself because it's becoming one inside of me with all the rest of me. And that does transform everything. That's the central focus in my life right now, is bringing together all the energies of life inside of my own little carcass here, man, my divine little temple, you know, bringing this thing back to life, not letting any part of it feel fragmented or invaded in any way, and doing what it takes to get there. I don't stop, ever. Once I set foot on a journey, man, until that journey's over, I'm on it, and I'm going. Now, it doesn't mean I ain't going to take a rest stop here, of course, but I'm on that journey, and I'm rocking with it, and I'm not stopping until that journey has fulfilled itself in me, as well as whatever was required of me in the reality to boot. Babies, I love you, genuinely and sincerely, from the ancient heart that is one in all. We all carry that. I'm aware of it. I don't always do the best job with it, but I'm aware of it. I am coming back to life, and in the process, bringing all the rest of us back to life. What I share and convey with you here comes from this one heart, this universal heart in every being, as interpreted through my conscious person. However conscious that may be in this moment in history. Oh, babies, you see. So you get a slice that comes from a very unique point of view. That's why we're here to share it, you know. The energy that goes with it is strong, incredible, awakening. If you're ready to receive it, baby, it can be a boon to your life. But baby, like I tell you and warn you continually, be ready for rapid change, rapid growth because of the change. The completeness of this change can even hardly be fathomed yet, even as we watch the beginnings of it, even as we begin to experience our first baby steps in it. Wow. But the picture gets broader. You know, each baby step actually broadens the picture quite a bit. So it won't be long before we're getting used to it. And then we'll just float right into it, baby. That magic night will come that I've often spoken of, when the switch is flipped And the lights come on everywhere, inside of everyone. And the world we awaken to in the morning, completely recreated. It's in harmony with itself. All the human beings, all the animals, all the land, all the oceans, everything, skies, everything is in love with itself and in love with everything around it, and everything is happy. And there's angels floating by, and there's, what we would consider UFOs, ships, let's call them, floating by, and everything just seems normal and hunky-dory, just the way it's always been. Because in your sleep you took a little spin and came back to life again, and can see what's really here, and hence you live in paradise. Babies, I don't know why I have to say it twice. Or repeat it anymore. Yet every time I do, it does even up this score. It does get it right. Here in the middle of the night and all over this planet. Oh, babies, yes, indeed. As we take flight, as we give love its first real run. Why not? Tonight's the night. Let's put her out there, babies. Let's keep it rolling. Let's allow it to happen inside of ourselves. Feel the magnetism growing in the center of your being, man. And know that you are like old Humpty Dumpty being magically drawn back together again. The undoable, the unrepairable, brought more than to repair, to wholeness, as if it were never broken and fragmented. And it's not. Darlings, that's the vision we're here to convey tonight. Oh, and there'll be more, you betcha, on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Whew, this kind of love doesn't stop at anything until it gets it right. Babies, there's your flight in the middle of the night. Woo-hoo, and some wind for your wings, baby. Grandpa Coyote wishing you, a fine flight tonight. This kind of love makes me feel 10 feet tall. It makes all my problems fall.